welcome to the 44th episode of the MyMuddlings podcast. I'm your host Julianne, and I'd like to welcome new and returning viewers to my podcast. This is a podcast about mostly knitting, sometimes a little bit of spinning, sometimes a little bit of shop update, hand dyeing stuff. Today is going to be pretty low key. I'm very low energy. Simon and I are going through a bit of a patch at the moment because we've found out that we need to move. So I don't want to go too much into it because it's really stressing us out. I am getting very overwhelmed. I'm not sleeping. And so hence the low energy today, unfortunately. Hopefully it doesn't bother you guys too much. Hopefully I'll warm up a little bit because I'm also a little bit out of practice after not podcasting for a couple of weeks. So yeah, if I'm a bit flat, that's because I'm incredibly tired. I've been working very hard to start clearing our house out because we do have too much stuff. We have applied for a new house. It is far smaller than the house that we are currently in. It does not have a garage, and we have a garage full of stuff. Yeah, I'm working to clear out the house so that we can fit all of our stuff inside the house. So we applied for that yesterday. We haven't heard anything as yet. We probably won't until tomorrow or next week. So yeah, that is weighing heavily on my mind. Simon is very stressed. I am very stressed. My body doesn't take very kindly to being stressed, so I'm not feeling desperately well either, apart from being tired. So yes, I think I should stop blathering about how bad I'm feeling at the moment, because it's not a pity party podcast. It's about knitting. But I know you guys have some very, very caring viewers, and I appreciate that very much. And I do like to keep you guys posted on how things are going. So if we do get this house, we will actually be moving within 3 weeks. So there will be eventually a new background to the podcast instead of this much larger room here than what I will have in my lounge room in the new house if we do get it. So I guess I'll have to fiddle around and see where's the best place to podcast in the new house. But anyway, let's get on with it. I guess the first thing is the Stash Down Along, which is still running over in the MyMuddlings podcast Ravelry group. Again, I haven't really had much to put in there, and the things that I am putting in there, I actually have been very slack at taking photos of. So, yes, there's not many photos from me. You guys are amazing. All of you other people who are participating, there is some incredible number of projects in there. It's so exciting just to dip in and have a look, and I love seeing people's different colour tastes, because it's quite obvious in the posts for a couple of you that you have favourite colours, and they're very different colours to what I like to work with. So it's really interesting to see other people's tastes in there. Hopefully I'll have already put up on the screen all of the details. So if you'd like to participate, you are welcome to come along and join us, and just head over to the MyMuddlings podcast Ravelry group and join the group while you're there, and choose your FO post and start uploading your projects. So I guess I can get on to FOs. As you can see, I am wearing one of them. Today, which is Thursday, Shannon, who is from Very Shannon, so Shannon Cook, has released the Veronika cardigan pattern, so I can finally show it to you. It has been finished for a couple of weeks, mine. I did the test knit, and yes, it has been finished for a couple of weeks. I wore it to my market, and it's so squishy and cuddly and warm, and it's just like wearing a blanket. Just slightly, what would you say? Slightly more fashionable than wearing a blanket. It's just like your own personal little cocoon, little blanket fort that you can wear around. So I loved knitting this pattern. I really think everybody should go out and make themselves a Veronika because it is amazing. The pattern is very well detailed. There were a few snafus in the testing process, but we should have ironed all of them out now for everybody, so you should get a nice straightforward, well explained pattern now that we've nutted out all of the kinks in it. And yes, so what else can I say? I'm sorry for my low energy, because my low energy is actually betraying a lack of excitement that I have for this project. I just love it. It's been hard to take it off my body. I have knit it from my own yarn, so this is Lovebird Lane Nyasa Aran in the Canopy Shadows colourway, and it's super squishy, it's super warm, it's actually quite soft, and the pattern's not actually written for a soft yarn, it's written for a much more sturdy rustic yarn, but this hasn't stretched out as yet, even though it is a soft superwash merino. Hasn't stretched out, it's kept its shape, and it's super snuggly, super soft, and I love it. I love it to death. But this cardigan has an amazing construction. It's so clever, because initially you kind of go, how does that work? And you kind of, and it's a little bit hard, well it was for me anyway, just at the very beginning to completely visualize what it was that was really being done. So yeah, it's basically knit as a T shape, so it comes, you know, you go, it's knit from side to side. You knit your T shape, which includes the shaping for the shawl collar, because it's got rather a large shawl collar on it. So, you know, you increase for your shawl collar and then, you know, decrease as you're finishing. And then all you need to do after that is to pick up some ribbing on the slip stitches on the bottom, and then sew up the ribbing, and then you've got a full cardigan. It's like, you can't get much easier than that. It's like as much joy to knit as it is to wear, and I really think every single person, including boys, even though this is made for girls, boys need a Veronika as well. Who doesn't need their own personal blanket fort? I mean, really. So for this, I used 1,348 yards of the yarn, which is 1,233 meters. So that was, for me, in my own yarn, that was just over 8 skeins. I think it was 8.22 skeins I used in this. So, I mean, seeing it's hand-dyed yarn, it's probably not the most price-effective way of doing it, but seeing it's my own yarn, you know, I can take the, you know, as cost price. But yeah, I'm really, really happy with it, and Shannon has very generously offered to give me a couple of copies of the pattern to give away on the podcast, so that's super exciting. And as part of that, I just need to get clarification from Shannon that she's happy to go ahead with that, and then I will be announcing a giveaway for my 300 subscriber giveaway, I guess, because I've hit 302 subscribers on YouTube, which is so exciting. Hello to everybody. Hello to my new subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing. I hope you continue to enjoy the podcast, and yes, thank you. That's probably all I can really say. It's a big thank you. It'll be a big thank you giveaway, so there'll be some hopefully a couple of Veronika patterns to give away, and I've got a little bit of yarn to go with that as well. But I haven't heard back from Shannon yet, just to confirm, so I will wait to nail down all the details until next week's podcast when I hear back from her. Alright, so that was my first FO, and you know, I could go on forever about how much fun it was. All of us testers, we just enjoyed every minute, and quite a few of us had little snafus as we were knitting, including myself, and had to rip back. And even though we had to rip back, we were like, had no problem with it, because A, we wanted the perfect cardigan, and B, it's a joy to knit. So the re-knitting really isn't an issue, because it was just a lovely joyful, wonderful experience knitting this cardigan. So get out there, go and buy it. And Shannon actually has a 15% off code at the moment, so you can find that on her Instagram, or if you are a member of her mailing list, she will have sent that out to you. So you can get 15% off the Veronika cardigan with her code, but definitely head over to Shannon's Instagram, which I will put in the down bar for you so that you can find it. Okay, I was going to try and keep this short today, and I've just probably blathered on for about 15 minutes about my Veronika cardigan, but I guess that's, you know, just, it's proof how much I love it. So my other FO is the Lacey Myths that I have already shown you, and ones that Simon very beautifully modelled on our Family Affair podcast, and I now have two. They are all finished. And I actually ripped out the bind off on one of them, on the first one, because I don't know if you noticed when Simon put it on the podcast, for some reason I thought that the bind off would look better if I bound off in knit, which actually, you know, created like a little what do you call it, not a line, but like a loop of V's around the bottom of the cuff, which I didn't like. So I ripped it out, and of course I have now done it you know, properly with a knit one, purl one cast off. So I might chuck one of them on so you can see. I haven't blocked these yet, they haven't had a wash yet, but I will need to do that very quickly because I will need to give them to their recipient soonish. So there we go. So these are the Lacey Myths. I think that's what they're called. Yes, just Lacey Myths by Naganasu. And that is a free pattern on Ravelry. So these were, as I mentioned in the podcast when I first showed them off, they are knit top down, which was, it's the first time I've ever knit a pair of mitts from the top down. And I have to say, it was a fun experience. And the thought that you don't have to go back and pick up and knit a thumb, like, was mind-blowing to me. So there we go, that's the two of them. Sorry, that was my phone just going off. Turn it on silent so that you can't hear that. So yeah, there's the two of them. So pretty much you know, you cast on your top bit, you knit your thumbs first, that's the instruction, and I did just mine on DPNs. And then you knit the top of your mitt, and then you join them together like a bottom-up sweater, and you do your, can you kind of see that, like the little V of the gusset? So you just decrease to create your gusset, and you go back to your regular stitch count for the arms. So they're a little bit snug on me. My friend is a lot thinner than I am, so they should fit her quite well. And I mean, it is cotton and acrylic. This is Knit Picks Comfy cotton and acrylic in the colourway Whisker, so it's a really nice grey, and she likes neutral colours, so I thought the grey would probably be quite nice for her. So yeah, that's those. I used 196 yards or 179 metres for these, and that I got these out of just one ball of the Comfy. I finished these mitts, so these need a bath and then to get gifted to my friend. So it was her birthday at the end of June, so I'll give those to her for her birthday. So I have, what do I have? I have 3 works in progress that I have been working on, and let me see. Now, one of them you have seen before, and I realised I didn't get it down, but that up there is my first finished sock, and I'm not sure whether I shared that with you guys. It's too far for me to reach, so I'll just leave it up there. But these are my In Dream socks, and these are being knit from some Unwind Yarn Company yarn, and this is her Journey sock, I think it is, in Until We Meet Again, which was her ovarian cancer colourway. So that's what I've used for the cuff. And then the body of the sock is In Dreams is the colourway, and that's on her Suave Sport base. And yeah, I really love these. They're lovely and squishy. I really, I think if I can fit these into my shoes, which is the next thing. I think I'll be in love with sport weight socks because they're so squishy, especially this base. It's soft, it's squishy, and it just feels super, super cozy. And I love the colours in this colourway. It's just, it's not really a speckle, but it's sort of, I guess, a speckly variegated, I guess you could call it, with this kind of got a, I don't know if it shows up properly, but it's kind of like an aquary blue kind of base, and then it's got all the different, you know, reds and purples and blues and greens speckled over the top. So yes, I finished my first one. It's up there on the sock blocker, and I just did it in my regular vanilla sock recipe and with the Fish Lips Kiss heel. So hopefully, I haven't actually tried it on, but hopefully it fits okay. If it's a little bit big, then I guess they're just slipper socks and I'll just wear them around the house, which is fine. So I am keeping those in my Unwind Young Company rainbow bird bag, and that came as a kit with that yarn, the In Dreams yarn. So you can kind of see, you know, how it matches the bag. It's all the same colours in the bag. So yeah, I'm just trucking along on those. I have been better timing my pickups of Simon from work, so I'm leaving with just enough time to get there for him to come out. So I haven't been taking my socks with me, because I've obviously been very busy around the house. I'm trying to clean things up and get things ready to move. So I've been sort of leaving the time that I need to go pick up Simon to the very last minute. So hence, these aren't getting a ton of love. They are mostly getting worked on right at the end of the night when I'm super tired, as I feel like I'm always tired at the moment, when I'm tired and watching TV. So they are getting knit on very slowly. The other project that is probably getting a lot more of my attention, which is also pretty simple to do, you know, a simple knit for when I'm tired at night, is my mini skein cowl, and I've gotten quite far on it. And it's going to be an infinity cowl, and I'm pretty much just making this up as I go, and I've realised something weird has happened here, and I've somehow pulled an end through my knitting, and I don't know how. I've somehow ended up with an end on the front of my yarn. Yeah, I'm not really sure about that. I'm going to have to try and fix that. So basically, this is being knit out of a packet of each of my mini skeins that are available in my shop. I now have some back in there after my market. I have put all of my yarns that were left from my market up in the shop. So if you are interested, I do have a discount code, or a couple of discount codes, which I'll talk about a bit later. So yes, this is my mini skein cowl. So I pretty much started from here, which is Wisteria Arbor, and what I've tried to do is to alternate my variegated and my tonal set and kind of create some sort of, it's not really a gradient, but some sort of consistent flow of colour, I guess you could say. So pretty much within the frame there, you can see all of the 10 colours that are in my mini skein kit. So it goes Wisteria Arbor, Winterfell, Blushing Rose is the pink, Prismarine, Caterpillar, 3 PM, Kingfisher, Iris Blooms, Summer Peaches, and Flame Trees. So I've gotten through 2 repeats, and I'm now on my 3rd repeat of the colours, and then when I'm done at the end, I'm just going to seam it all up, and then I'll just be able to wear it as like a double twisted cowl, or just let it hang as a long cowl. It's like an infinity scarf, I guess, probably is more accurate. So yeah, I'm just trucking along with this. It's very, very simple. I've just made up the pattern. I saw something like it on Ravelry and just used that as inspiration to create, you know, my own pattern. It's not really a pattern, it's more of a recipe, I suppose. It's only 2 rows. Stripe in your colours, work 2 different rows. And it just creates the chevron, and I love chevrons because I love geometrics and triangles and chevrons and things, so I'm super, super happy with this, and I love being able to see my yarns knit up because, you know, I can create the colours and I don't always see them knit up. So at least here I can see 10 of my colourways all knit together. So that's pretty cool. I don't know what else to say about it, but if anybody is interested in this, I'm happy to write it up as a free pattern and post that on Ravelry if you like the look of the scrappy cowl. I mean, I guess you could use any amounts of yarn. They don't have to be consistent stripes. You could fade them together if you wanted by alternating before you change over. There's all sorts of things that you could do. So maybe I'll write up a pattern anyway and just put all the suggestions for things that you could do in there. So that's my mini skein cowl, and I have one thing left that I have been working on, and I've kind of stopped on it just at the moment because I appear to be running out of yarn, which isn't what I, what do you call it, not expected, that's the wrong word, planned upon. If you remember a while back, I showed you the start of my Lorelai Shawl. Lorelai Shawl? Yes, Piper Shawl was the grey and pink one. Lorelai Shawl, which is named after my niece who lives in Sydney. And I had started it and then I ripped it out, and then it was going to be a triangle shawl. I ripped it out and changed the stitch pattern up a little bit, and then I wasn't happy with it. So I ripped it out again, and then I tried knitting it again to replicate what I did the first time, and it wasn't looking right and I wasn't happy with it. So I scrapped that entirely. And I just cast on something else. I don't know that this will be called the Lorelai Shawl. I might still persevere with the other plan that I had, and this can just be a different one. But because I had this yarn and I'd ripped it out and knit and ripped it out and knit and ripped it out, I thought, oh, well, I better knit it into something. But now I think it might need to be ripped again because I think I'm going to run out of yarn. So anyway, this is my Lovebird Lane yarns in the Blushing Rose. You probably recognise it from my stripy cowl that I've just shown you. And what I am creating, it's a bit hard to see because it's all curled up on the needles. It is a 3/4 shawl, so it will create like a, you know, like 3/4 of a square sort of shape. And what I have done is I have lace in the middle section, so you can kind of, I mean, obviously it's not blocked. It's a bottom up shawl, so I cast on over 400 stitches for this, which I don't know, could be too much. I'm not sure. That's why you knit prototypes. But to me it looks, I mean, obviously it's unblocked, so when it's blocked it might stretch out, but it looks to be about the right size to me. But it's probably going to need 2 to 3 skeins of yarn, I think, to finish. So what I'm thinking I might do is pick a coordinating skein that goes with the Blushing Rose and just finish it, and it'll just be stripes on the shawl. I don't know how nice that will look, but at least then I will get, seeing I've knit this much already, I will get some idea of how much yarn I need overall and what size this shawl will be coming out. So I may just grab something else from my stash that's in a fingering weight that looks similar, that I can use to finish this off. So pretty much I did a border, and this border matches the border in the lace, but I've done stockinette on either of the side quarters, eighths, quarters, I guess you could, yeah, 3/4 shawl. So yes, I've done stockinette on each of the side quarters and then the lace in the middle. So yeah, I'm happy with how it's turning out. Obviously as you go you do cast on a lot of stitches, but as you go you are decreasing, so your rows get shorter and shorter. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this, and I just have to figure out how much yarn it's going to take. So yeah, so that is my shawl prototype. It doesn't have a name yet. It might turn out to be the Lorelai Shawl, it might not, it might have a completely different name. So that's all that I've been working on. I can hear the garbage truck coming, so I might try and wrap this up quickly. I will put down, I have 2 sales going on at the moment. All of my contact details are in the card at the end in the credits, and I will wrap it up now because the truck is very close. And thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry it's been such a low energy podcast, but thank you for watching. I hope you guys all have a fantastic week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.